This is Johnny Blue Storm. Welcome to Threshold, a global media event.
That in the midst of death, life persists. In the midst of untruth, truth persists. In the midst of darkness, light persists.
Genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Peace for all men and women, peace in all time.
Is the universe just a random dance of atoms, or is it a manifestation of a supremely intelligent architect? Can its purpose, or our purpose here on Earth, be adequately assessed? Can we commune with it, know its intentions, cooperate with its direction? Here, we define threshold as a gateway state of awareness, allowing mankind to cross into a place of real cognition. Threshold allows us to approach questions of higher reality through the door of experience rather than mere belief. Welcome to Threshold, where we tear away the veil from commercial media, bringing our audience and participants into another realm of reality and enhanced communication. This is Johnny Bluestar. Welcome back to Threshold. Here we look at ourselves and the world around us from a spiritual perspective, from the conviction that there is a connection between our consciousness and the consciousness of the supreme architect of our world's existence. As we come to that realization, we cross over a threshold that is a bridge between ordinary and divine awareness. And after crossing into that threshold, although there may be confusion and a bit of chaos, there is also the awareness that one has somehow stepped or half-stepped into a whole new world where life is not just arbitrary or preordained despite our dreams. This is a world where our own consciousness, when properly connected to the divine, can manifest in a very serious and perfect way. And keeping in mind these type of thoughts, I would also like to point out that I started this program because I felt that a spiritual perspective not only had to happen in the good times, but also in times that are quite distressing. And another thought that I had, as I myself write songs, is that there is, I believe, throughout the world, a growing consciousness of the importance of music again in conveying real messages, not just commercial hype. And so I asked two artists, members of a married songwriting team, Zave Nathan and his wife Bonnie Blazak, to join me today, because I think they're writing the kind of music that actually reflects both spirituality and political awareness in a very difficult time. Zave is a musician and composer, and writes the music with Bonnie, who also writes the lyrics. Zave also produces most of the music and has been a performer for most of his career. So I'd like to greet both of you. Hi, Zave. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm really glad you could come to our show. You know,
Wonderful.
I'd like to start off perhaps with Zave and then Bonnie. Could you tell me a little bit about your background, Zave, how you got into the music business?
Yes. Well, my mother was a musician, and I was born in a musician's household. She was a piano player, and she was on her way to becoming a concert pianist when she got pregnant, and she decided otherwise to raise her boy versus embarking on a career as a musician. But nevertheless, I was raised with classical music all my life, and I entered the Conservatory of Music in Paris when I was 10 years old, 3 years early. She had one of her teachers, one of her mentors, Madame Casatsu, was helping her and guiding her in her career, and so, you know, they brought me in, and I worked with a piano teacher over there for 3 years. And after that, I discovered on my 13th birthday, I got two singles, one of the Beatles and one of the Rolling Stones, and that kind of changed my life a little bit. So I fell in love with rock and roll, and age 14, I went on to a summer camp, and one of the kids who was sharing a tent with me in Brittany had a guitar, and I borrowed his guitar for 30 days, and I became a guitarist. And age 14, in 1969, I went to see Woodstock in Paris. And I entered the movie theater at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I left at midnight. I saw it 3 times in a row, and I just couldn't leave the seat. And I went home at midnight. My mom was like, "Where have you been?" At the time, we didn't have any cell phone, so she was kind of worried. It was down the street where I was raised, and my dreaming, my intense dreaming about music just started. And this is how I embraced rock and roll at the time. And I came to America, and I fell in love with Hollywood, and I became a rock and roll guitarist guy in Hollywood, and I never really left. I've been writing and producing music for a long time.
So it seems like you kind of lived out your dream so far.
Well, I try. Believe me, it's not easy. Being a musician in LA is not easy.
Bonnie, I wonder if you could tell us something about your background.
Well, I don't have a musical background, but I have always been a poet since my childhood. I loved writing poetry, and I never tried to get it published, or in today's world, being a poet isn't something that anyone really aspires to as a career, But so when we met, it was a very good melding of his passion and talents with my play on words, plus on his inspiration and his muse. So it was an alchemical combination that really sparked some cool stuff, and we're still at it today.
Well, so poets can find a place in this world, after all.
Yes.
Zave, I was thinking that you were mentioning what happened to you when you came to Hollywood. And, oh, by the way, I think you mentioned you're French. Didn't you say that?
Yes, I am.
Let's hear a song.
Are you there?
Yeah. Is there a possibility that we could hear I Am French?
You want me to play it?
No, I'm actually, it's on our list here.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely. I want to.
Man, check it out.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, man, this dude looks weird,
Yeah,
man.
he's
Is he from Mars or France or what?
France.
Yeah, man. Where's this dude been shopping at?
You think he's cute? Sir, this is your communication from Paris.
Oh, merci beaucoup, merci. I just arrived from Paris today with no reason but chercher la femme. I got my clothes, my face, I feel so débonnaire. Hey, comment allez-vous, monsieur, madame? And here I am, just a stranger in the streets of LA, looking out for something to do. And I say, hey, how you doing? I gotta show you something, cause I wanna be your favorite of you. Because I'm French. Everything is possible to know. Because I'm French. Ça doit marcher between me and you. You know I'm French. Everything is possible to know. You know I'm French. Ça doit marcher between me and you. Yeah.
Man, this dude is cool.
Like a child in a toy store, I think I want more, cause she talks about ménage à trois. Oh, she wants love. I'm ready to play the part. Go for it, c'est la vie, pourquoi pas? Whoa, she wants to see my savoir-faire. No, n'oppose bien au contraire. I'm gonna have to sing her toujours l'amour. She said,
Too sweet, I wanna feel a little
en
bit.
love à la française, merci, bonjour. Because I'm French. Everything is possible for nous. You know I'm French. Ça doit marcher between me and you. Because I'm French. Everything is possible for nous. You know I'm French. Ça doit marcher between me and you. Mademoiselle, so what's your name?
Baba.
Ooh, you've gotta be my soup du jour. I wanna kiss ton petit four. Ooh la la. marché between me and you because I'm French. Everything is possible entre nous. You know I'm French. Ça doit marcher between me and you. You know I'm French. Everything is possible entre nous. You know I'm French. Ça doit marcher between me and you because I'm French. Oui, oui.
When you got here, Zave, did you go around asking women if, or telling them that they were your soup du jour?
Yes.
You did. So you're being honest, right?
Yeah.
How was it being French in Hollywood?
Being French in Hollywood? Well, that was interesting. If you have a French accent, women will like you, probably. Men will amuse them for 5 minutes, then they will keep you to a distance. The French stigma in America is about, perfume, some clothing when it comes to women, and but mainly it's about food. So I was stigmatized, if I can use this term, and just kind of the French guy, yeah, and so it's always about restaurants, it's about baguette, it's about the stereotype of the French in America. So when I wanted to do rock and roll with an electric guitar on the stage of the Whiskey or the Roxy, I didn't fit in really. So the relationship between the musicians and myself not always been stellar. I tried to lose my accent to fit in a little more and to melt in, and I was. Most women told me no, so I did not. When I said I want to lose my French accent, most of the time I got no. So I kept it. You see, it's a success that way. But I've been a waiter. I've been a male exotic dancer. That's what I've been doing in the early '80s to survive. I was a stripper. And so on that point, being a stripper with a French accent, that was pretty fun. And but don't try to sing, don't try to be a rock and roll star in Hollywood with a French accent. That doesn't work. But I had a lot of, I played in different bands. I produced a lot of music over the years, and I had a recording studio in North Hollywood that I built with a friend of mine for a few years, and we produced a lot of music. And after that, I decided to put together another band, who became another band and another band and lots of bands. And I've always been flirting with success. A little bit of Geffen, a little bit of Capitol Records, a little bit of Ario Speedwagon, a little bit of management, a little bit of everything, but never crystallized into something strong. And
Well, I think that it's always difficult for artists to fit in with our culture, and I certainly have had my share of challenges. We're going to hear a little bit of another of your song called How Many Times, and then and have our little commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Did I stake my life on love? Let's shine the light on the mystery of her heart. Together we'll rewrite history. How many times did I knock at the wrong door? How many times did I get kicked to the floor?
Boots in Manhattan is a coming-of-age novel by Ray Boylan and Johnny Bluestar. It is about a young Tom Boots Raymond who grows up in New York in the 1940s who was a member of a street gang.
My friends and I were about to start our own game of stickball when Rabbit Lacey, the head of the Rattlers, came up to us and tried to move in on our game. We were called Dwarves, the youngest members of the stupid gang.
Hey, Kevin, I need you to get some gloves and some stuff I left at my place.
No, this is our game.
Hey, are you my good little dwarf or what?
You've been calling me a dwarf since I was 6. We're not your personal slaves, pal.
Hey, what is this? A dwarf rebellion? All right, big guy. We ditched the dwarf thing. We make you guys regular rattlers.
No, it's too late.
He looked at Jay and me. We looked away. Rabbit was now angry, and he pushed Kevin hard with the palms of his hand. Kevin tried to ram him in the stomach, but he stepped aside, throwing Kevin into the curb where he fell to the ground, bleeding profusely at the knee. Still, he managed to get up.
My street.
Kevin shouted at Rabbit, pointing at him with an angry index finger.
Find out more by Googling Boots in Manhattan, a 1940s coming-of-age novel, part 1 of the novel series The Foot Soldier by Ray Boylan and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Boots in Manhattan, Ray Johnny Kindle. That's Boots in Manhattan, Ray Johnny Kindle.
Nowadays, if you are a serious business person, just getting assistance from someone with a license and a bit of experience may not be sufficient. In fact, your realtor actually needs to be knowledgeable enough to be one of your top advisors. Whether you're facilitating a giant merger or selling your company, there's a lot at stake besides your finances. There is the future value of your current investment, financial freedom, integrity, and overall reputation. If you need this kind of assistance, Sandra LaFlamme is a real estate expert with the experience, reputation, and knowledge qualified to assist you in all your key transactions. Sandra LaFlamme, real estate services with integrity and conscience. Contact her today at 888-366-8070. That's Sandra LaFlamme at 888-366-8070. We as artists all have our dreams. But it seems to me when we were younger, these dreams of success in America seemed somehow sweeter. Because we not only did we believe in the American dream, but we believed in America. But in the last few decades, that belief in America, however justified or not justified back then, seems to increasingly fade. I'm now with songwriters Zave Nathan and Bonnie Blazak. They are responding to many things in their songs that I feel in my heart and in my music. I know both of you are feeling that change that I'm talking about, this fading of sort of the American dream. How would you describe it? What has happened to our country? Zave?
Well, I think there have been, I think we've been under enormous amounts of control and deceit for a very long time, but we've just really started to become aware of it as they're, putting the screws to us now in a way never before. And, we don't have the freedom that they keep telling us we have, and everything in this society is inverted and hidden, and we're just getting so squeezed. So it's very difficult to have the American dream of a life of the pursuit of happiness, and liberty, and, what has happened to all of that, where we've become enslaved. And yes, there's a lot going on behind our backs that is starting to become known. And it will change, and it must change, but people have to wake up. There are too many people who don't know what's going on. They're trapped in sort of a matrix that has been created through television and mainstream media, where all the lies and deceit and propaganda comes through, and everyone takes it on as reality, and they don't question anything. And, we're just lemmings heading to the edge of the cliff.
What interested me is that you guys, your music, as we will play it on this program, embodies some of this apprehension. I feel personally a threat by this type of overseer mentality that I'm seeing, I believe it's a direct contradiction to our the liberties that we were promised in the Constitution and the Declaration.
Absolutely.
You know, I would like to, before we go on, you guys wrote a song called "Fooled Me," which I'd like to play now and then go back to our conversation.
Okay, great.
Everybody wants your attention. Everybody wants your blood. Everybody wants your affection. Everybody wants your love. You don't wanna have an obsession. If you're looking for the facts, you might fall into a delusion. So watch out for the traps, 'cause they were led to believe that life is nothing else but just a game. Yes, they were led to believe that whatever they do it right. So get it right. Everybody wants an addiction. Everybody wants some cash. But everybody gets a subtraction, and everybody's gonna crash. If you gotta face deception, better hang up to your seats. Taking the pill for your depression, do it to stop your dreams. 'Cause they were led to believe that tomorrow will be their Shangri-La. Yes, they were led to believe happiness is here. Get it now. So get it now. When all they wanted was a little fun. An early morning ride under the sun. But they're working for the men from 8 to 6. Then they're rushing home to get their fix. So they feel good, safe and happy. They could have fooled me. They could have fooled me. Everybody's got an addiction, but don't let go of their past. They will go along with corruption, hoping it's not gonna last. And they will bury their frustration. They are trapped inside a dream. They don't even see the pollution to their computer screens. 'Cause they were led to believe under from the sky we come the truth. Yes, they were led to believe that just another push we get them through. So get it through. When all they wanted was a little fun. An early morning ride under the sun. But they're working for the men from 8 to 6. Then they're rushing home to get their fix. All they wanted was a little fun. An early morning ride under the sun. They're working for the men from 8 to 6. So they feel good, safe and happy. They could have fooled me. 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 They could have fooled me.
Zave, could you tell us something about how you felt prior to writing that song? What is compelling you to write songs that are, shall we say, some of them, it seemed to me, almost part of a new protest song movement?
Well, when you wake up, first you go to the surprise. You go to the, what is that? Then you go to the realization of what you feel could be real. So the second step is acceptance and understanding. The third step is reaction. So, when I started looking at what happened was this. I used to work as a real estate agent for a long time, and one Sunday, I had an open house in Santa Monica. And during this open house, one prospective buyer came in. He was from Europe. He was from Holland. And the guy was 23, 24. And we started talking about France and about, he spoke a little bit of French. And we started talking, and he said, you should watch a movie called Zave. So I took note of it. And coming back on Sunday night, I told my wife about it, and we watched that movie. And this woke us up. My curiosity was tested, and I started digging and looking and researching and reading and watching, and so I always felt coming in this country that something was wrong. Something is wrong versus the way I was raised in France and how I was described how America was. My father worked at the American Embassy for 30 years. So I was very bathed into the American culture as a young man. And when I finally came to America, I was under the impression that America was that. And coming to Hollywood and growing up, being born again in Hollywood, and having to learn the language and the society and the way things work here, and waking up to the reality of what the American system is, I went, oh my God, I got to translate how I feel about it. And this is how I translated, the music, the songs, the songwriting. Now they have a purpose for me. I feel like I'm a little bit of a missionary, that I know about something that is so real for me because I see it, I hear it, I understand it, and put it into songs and deliver the message through, a song formula. So this way, I feel more comfortable doing that.
Well, right now we're going to hear a bit of an interesting counterpoint to our discussion, a song that you wrote, a little bit of it, in our next commercial break called I Made It.
It is the 15th century. El Tesoro de Cielo, a Spanish treasure ship, sends a scouting expedition to a strange island. Golden statues surrounding them prove the enormity of their find. Suddenly, hordes of ghoulish creatures with scaly green flesh and skeletal wings descend upon them from the sky.
What do you think of this, Rufio?
These creatures are fragile, Captain. We can take them with our swords.
They seem supernatural. Who knows what powers they possess?
Fallen angels weakened by their treason.
My God, are you saying they're Nephilim, the devil's host?
I'm saying, whatever they are, we can take them. Do any of you cowards dare join me?
Up against sharp knife-like nails and hideous fangs, the men's swords rip into slimy green flesh. Though black blood pours copiously from their half-naked bodies, the creatures miraculously persist. Can the crew survive this bloody, cursed battle?
Find out more by Googling The Thrice Born, a new sci-fi supernatural novel by Carlos Lopez Avery and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Carlos Johnny Kendall, The Thrice Born. That's Carlos Johnny Kendall, The Thrice Born.
I've worked with Russian composer Edgar Ahrens for quite a few years, building an inventory of songs, many of which feature singer-performer Patricia Welch. We will soon be releasing these songs, components of an album and a musical in progress called Hadley's Castle. When Edgar and I first got together, I was amazed by the brilliance of his musical scores created for movies, TVs, and animations. Here is a sample of the work he did on the Russian TV series, available now on Amazon, called The Secret Agent's Memoir, which had 2 seasons. This score is called Escape and was created for the first season. I am very pleased to say that Bridge of Light Productions, a division of New Galaxy Enterprises, is proud to be the contact point for television and film companies seeking information about this amazing composer's work. If you're in the entertainment business and wish to know more, contact me at johnnybluestar@gmail.com. That's johnnybluestar@gmail.com. New Galaxy Enterprises is a media company specializing in wide-ranging content like novels, nonfiction books, screenplays, commercial advertising, web content, etc. One of our most esteemed providers is illustrator Robert W. Zalo. I work on all my most important projects like book covers, logos, web design elements with Robert. As an illustrator, he worked on the Ignatz-nominated comic book, The Expert's Guide to Killing Things That Go Bump in the Night. His skills encompass advertising, magazine illustrations, gaming, comic books, TV production, and scenic painting. His clients include Comcast, Adelphia, Haven Talent, ForceWorks, High Octane Theater, Star Creative Advertising. If you wish to contact Robert, go to johnnybluestar.com and let me know. That's johnnybluestar.com. For artist, illustrator Robert Zalo, an essential component of all the work we do. Maybe he can help you too. Welcome back to Threshold. I'm with Zave Nathan and Bonnie Blazak, 2 songwriters. I wanted to point out that I remember earlier days when one talked about such things as existential alienation from the values of the middle class and a search for meaning, sometimes described as futile, definitely not spiritual. But now there's a different kind of alienation, something I would call global or even planetary alienation, as the world, or shall we say some of the world, envisions a life without liberty, where citizens are under constant surveillance, where people can be held indefinitely without trial. I'm asking you, Nathan and Bonnie, does this sound like the America we at least believed in when we grew up? Does this sound like the planet we hope we would grow into some kind of maturity and peace at some time in the future? Say?
Well, I am shocked every morning. Every morning we wake up, we look at the alternative news. We don't have television. We haven't watched TV for 15 years for her, 10 years for me. So I am shocked. Understand that coming from France, which is a very humanitarian, very democratic, very loving, giving civilization, up until now that France is getting destroyed. But walking by the River Seine on the banks, you have the Statue of Liberty that was offered to your country. So freedom and friendship and the relationship between France and the U.S. have been always very, very strong. So now we are in 2015, and every morning I'm looking at what the reality of America is, and I am shocked.
Bonnie, what do you have to say about this? How you're together with Zave? How has all this affected you?
Well, my point of view is that there is a separation going on among humanity right now. It's, we're at a crossroads spiritually, and we have to choose which side of the line we want to be on. And so many people are, they're brainwashed and hypnotized by the false reality that comes through television and the mainstream media, and they cannot snap out of it. And if you try to tell them the truth, they don't want to hear it because they think it's negative. Oh gosh, don't tell me negative things. I don't want to hear that. Don't burst my bubble because I'm okay in my little bubble. So it is this difficulty for us that we have tried to wake up our friends and tell them the truth and share this information, because in unity and having all this knowledge and being united to protect our liberties, to protect our freedom and our way of life. And
Bonnie, you guys wrote a great song about this alienation you both have just spoken of, and I would like to play it because it's a way that you have broken maybe a barrier in communication, because people love to listen to music, and sometimes the music carries the message better than ordinary language. So this is called Living in the Closet. It's not a gender closet, but more of a socio-political closet, where you are so alienated by the commercial, social, and political untruth surrounding you that there is no other place to hide.
Yeah.
could you guys enlighten me as to the exact circumstances that might have triggered the desire to write this song? We've been talking about the general thing right before the song started, but what about the specifics?
Okay, well, first of all, if we're in the closet, we are hiding from something. We're either hiding something from others, or we're hiding ourselves away, or we're hiding from some truth. And usually in our society, that's been used more as regarding sexual orientation, but it could be about anything. And so one night, we happened to be hiding in our walk-in closet from our kids. we raised a couple of kids together, and we happened to have this one evening where like all hell was breaking.
It was a big closet
around the house. We had a very large walk-in closet, and so we just closed our bedroom door, went into the closet, and sat on the floor. And we were talking, and we were writing some ideas down. And I said, "Oh my God, look at us! This is what it's come to. We're living in the closet, And Zave picked up the guitar, and he started this reggae beat, and started singing "Living in the Closet," and we wrote that song. It's sitting in the closet. We wrote the song.
Very fast, 15 minutes.
I think I'm going to get my wife to clear out one of our closets so I can hide there.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
We're going, as you know, we're continuing to play little pieces of your songs, some whole songs, just to give people an idea, not only what you're doing, but what is possible, how to express yourself in these times of crisis and get people to wake up. Yes, if they woke up, they might actually vote in primaries and they might actually do things, but if they're asleep, they're just going to let all these things happen, like the government shutting down because some people don't like the funding of Planned Parenthood. I am not in favor of abortion in any sense. I have my own particular point of view, but shutting down the government, oh my goodness, that's a rather extreme thing to do. Why don't people wake up? Anyway, the next song I think is relevant and maybe apropos. It's called "Break My Heart."
I found a friend when I met you. Gave me a reason to make it through. I had a world to share with you and bring to life something that's true. It breaks my heart to lose a friend. It breaks my heart again and again, just like a knife cutting through my veins. It breaks my heart to lose a friend. Remember when we met?
The following is from West Side Warrior, the memoir of Ray Boylan, a Korean War veteran and crime fighter. He was there fighting in the world's coldest battlefield when the Chinese communists invaded.
Desperate squad members ran past our foxhole yelling, "Get the hell out of here, there's too many of them." Again, we saw the Chinese soldiers charging in with opium-induced mindlessness, oblivious of our bullets. Again, we heard the bugles and whistles. Climbing out of our foxhole, Bob dropped 2 hand grenades behind us, and I threw one over my shoulder. Bullets whizzing by our heads, Bob and I became bolts of lightning flashing across the mountainside. Like a hideous film, desperate scenes like this played out on the Tokong Pass for 3 days. Sometimes I played in the scene. Sometimes I could only watch and wonder if it were real, or if I'd be suddenly jolted out of my trance by an RKO usher saying, "Hey, did you kids sneak in here?"
To acquire this book, Google westsidewarrior.boylan.kindle. Boylan is spelled Boylan. That's West Side Warrior, Boylan, Kindle.
This is Johnny Bluestar. I've worked as a lyricist with Patricia Welch for over 5 years, along with Russian composer Edgar Ahrens, a friend and colleague. Her ability as a singer is simply amazing. She brings a unique and dramatic flair to every song she sings. Over the next few months, we shall be releasing a number of these songs, part of an album called Hadley's Castle. Meanwhile, Patricia has been busy creating a super enjoyable collection of classic standards in an exciting 46-song, 3-CD collection.
Music for great entertaining introduces Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia Welch. 3 hours of continuous music. 46 of the all-time classic standards, spanning decades of hit songs. Going to a friend's home for dinner? Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia also makes the perfect hostess gift. This 3-CD compilation is the perfect background music that sets just the right mood for any dinner party.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy.
To purchase this album, just go to patriciawelch.com/CD. That is patriciawelch.com/CD. You won't be disappointed. We're with Zave Nathan and Bonnie Blazak, wonderful, exciting songwriters. And because we're running into the end of the day, or not the end of the day, excuse me, the end of the hour, I want to play one of their most powerful songs. It's called Change. And we will play this right now.
That in the midst of death, life persists. In the midst of untruth, truth persists. In the midst of darkness, light persists.
Genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope, change, and build a better life for their children. Peace for all men and women, peace in all time.
every human being wants happy life, successful life.
That was Change by Zave Nathan and Bonnie Blazak. We'll be back in 5 minutes with these fabulous songwriters.
Is your current homeowner's insurance adequate for your needs? I'm Cheston Williams of the J. Cheston Williams Agency. When you get homeowner's insurance from American Family, you also get me, an agent who can help you make sure your coverage is up to date with all the home improvements and valuable possessions you add throughout the years. Interested? Call me, Cheston Williams, at the J. Cheston Williams Agency today at 702-854-4768 or stop by 6348 South Rainbow Suite 100 today.
American Family Insurance and Mutual Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
American Family Insurance.
Views and opinions expressed on this program were those of the hosts and guests and did not necessarily reflect those of Vegas All Net Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company.
You drive a car, you own a home, and you need insurance on both. So why not see if you can save some money in the process? I'm Cheston Williams of the J. Cheston Williams Agency. When you insure both your home and your auto with American Family Insurance, you may qualify for a substantial money-saving discount. Interested? Call me, Cheston Williams, at the J. Cheston Williams Agency today at 702-854-4768 or stop by 6348 South Rainbow Suite 100 today.
American Family Insurance, Mutual and Standard of Ohio and Wisconsin Insurance Companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
American Family Insurance.
Is the universe just a random dance of atoms, or is it a manifestation of a supremely intelligent architect? Can its purpose, or our purpose here on Earth, be adequately assessed? Can we commune with it, know its intentions, cooperate with its direction? Here, we define threshold as a gateway state of awareness, allowing mankind to cross into a place of real cognition. Threshold allows us to approach questions of higher reality through the door of experience rather than mere belief. Welcome to Threshold, where we tear away the veil from commercial media, bringing our audience and participants into another realm of reality and enhanced communication. We're on a musical odyssey with songwriters Zave Nathan and Bonnie Blazak. Here we're discussing and playing songs about some of the massive problems facing our country and the rest of the planet. I'd like to focus right now, because of a song that you wrote, on the alarming things that are happening to our educational system. What have you found out about something called Common Core?
Common Core. Okay. Was brought to me the attention by a friend of mine who is working and living in Nashville. And she called me up one day, and we were talking, and she said, why don't you write a song about Common Core? And I said, what is Common Core? And she briefly explained to me what it was, so I researched it. That was about a year ago. And oh my God. Common Core is an educational platform that is designed to scramble the minds of our children. That's what Common Core is all about.
How does it do that?
So by teaching the kids that 2 + 2 = 5.
Because it's close enough, and you don't want to tell the kid it's wrong because it might hurt their self-esteem. So it's more what they say is, well, we're teaching more about concepts than actual facts or linear thinking. It's more conceptual thinking, but it actually is extremely confusing. And we have some friends who have young children. Ours are all grown now, thank goodness. But their young children will come home with their homework and ask Dad to help, and he can't help. And he's a bright guy. He sits down, he reads it, he looks at it. He cannot figure out what the answer is. It's total confusion. And
you think that's deliberate?
Part of Common Core is the continuing and deepening rewriting of history. They're basically telling kids that the Constitution is really old and outdated, and it just doesn't make any sense anymore. And we have to come up with something new and different, which removes all of our freedoms. And it's just a nightmare. It's a total nightmare.
Well, I'd like to play the song that you wrote about it, Bonnie and Zave. Here we go.
My 5th grade teacher told me to always choose C when I did not know the answer.
Kids are learning things at school and promise of a brilliant future. Selling us some Common Core as the ideal for American culture. Just a hoax to dumb them down and keep our kids in confusion. But when they lose their minds, cause there's no solution, lost in false reality, there's no constitution. Common Core to you is a no, not on our watch, so pack up and go. Common Core to you is a no, not on our watch, so pack up and go. According to Common Core, 2 plus 2 for sure equals 5. Founding fathers demonize apparently what they say was just jive. Our Constitution is really old and it's just outdated. Day by day and night by night, eroding our freedom. They use their money powers to protect their kingdom. Common Core to you is a no, not on our watch, so pack up and go. Common Core to you is a no, not on our watch, so pack up and go.
We cannot sit back and wait till the Common Core is fully implemented on state testing.
It is not a state initiative. It was not developed by educators. It is not going to better prepare students for college or real-world applications.
Common Core to you is a no, not on our watch, so pack up and go. Common Core to you is a no, not on our watch, so pack up and go.
It is part of a century-long process of using the education system to mold students into more obedient workers and tax cattle.
Common Core to you is a no, not on our watch, so pack up
by billionaires with hidden agendas of their own.
That song is very powerful, but it reminds me, if I start to think about what is the problem that we're going through, the first thing is I find there to be a gigantic list of problems. They all seem to cohere together, but I wonder if we could just discuss some of them briefly. For instance, I know that you're concerned about mandatory vaccination. Give me an idea of why.
Well, if all of us would just do a little research on our own and simply read the inserts that go with, the vaccination packages, it's frightening. It's admitted that it causes brain damage. They're full of mercury, aluminum, neurotoxins, and they set up a separate court system for vaccine injury. And so many people have had terrible, terrible results with their children getting something like 37 vaccinations in their first 18 months of life, filled with these toxins, and then we wonder why there's so much autism. And, the scientists, even who have worked on some of these studies, have come out and become whistleblowers saying, we fudged the results. It's fraudulent. It's a fraudulent study. It's not safe. And we need to have the choice. I mean, there are a lot of brainwashed people in this country that go, oh, my God, yes, if you're going to touch my child, you better have a flu shot. Or don't come near us, And they're lining up for their shots, and they think, and the doctors are totally brainwashed by Big Pharma. And so they you walk in the doctor's office, they want to know, are you up on all your shots? Do you need a flu shot? What do you need? I got it. You want it? I got it. And they're totally brainwashed too. So it's causing enormous autism. We have several friends who have autistic children. We've seen this firsthand. And even one of Dave's daughters, after she had several of her vaccinations as a toddler, she had seizures. And she had seizures for 5 years. And his ex-wife didn't agree with the vaccination policy that Dave has, and she just went ahead and did what she wanted, and that was the result. So we will never take any vaccinations of any kind, and we hope that our children won't have to either. This is a huge issue of choice here in California, and it's going to spread across the country. California's been sort of the litmus test for the rest of the country. They're trying things here like, well, let's kill the agriculture with our chemtrail spraying, and let's give mandatory vaccines, and let's kill business and drive business out of the state and just destroy the state. So with California, we're up against a lot. Second Amendment is a huge issue here. They're really, really pushing hard to grab our guns, and it's really...
I mean, the concept of vaccination makes sense. The issue is what inside these vaccines. My father was a doctor. I was raised in a doctor's family. And of course, he administered some vaccines in the 60s and 70s. And we are under the impression that vaccines are safe, and they are here to help us and protect us. So the population at large is accepting. And in the back end, the medical system has put, the pharmacy has put inside these vaccines adjuvants that are really, really bad. And they put this in your body, and it goes to your brain, and it accumulates, and it destroys you. To such an extent, it's so dangerous now, that, like Bonnie said.
I guess the question would be, if that's the case, why? What is behind all this? Why would... That's like just one of several claims that people have made about massive conspiracy that endanger our health. I mean, if you just listen to some pharmaceutical commercials, you see that, like after listening to them, trying to listen objectively, although there are nice, very, very nice pictures of people speaking to each other and swinging in playgrounds and laughing and talking with their friends, that a lot of these things promise the possibility of lethal damage to your life. What is going on here? Why is all this happening in this way?
Well, if you research things like Agenda 21, the plan of the elite class is to depopulate the world dramatically. And so they're doing it through the vaccine process. There was even a little speech in a TED Talk that Bill Gates gave in which he said, oh, yeah, in Africa we want to bring in all these vaccinations, and if we're successful, we'll reduce the population by 15%. And, like, nobody blinked. I thought, here he's, like, actually telling the truth that the purpose of vaccines is to decrease the population, as opposed to if the vaccines worked and they kept us immune from deadly diseases, wouldn't it increase the population? So I don't know if that was a little flip or it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the blurb, but I'm not sure totally of the context. But I am sure that this is, for many people, a profound problem right here in the United States. And it is disabling many, many people, according to those who are against vaccinations. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the mood slightly, because I'd like people to get a sense of the versatility of your music. And I'd like to play a little number called She and take a commercial break.
To believe that she would stop sending a flow of love to me until I drop. I just wanted her to know I would never let her go. 'Cause she's everything I need. She has no fear, no greed. She, from now to eternity, she'll give me love. 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 She gives me love. She gives me love. She gives me love.
This is Johnny Bluestar. I've worked as a lyricist with Patricia Welch for over 5 years, along with Russian composer Edgar Ahrens, a friend and colleague. Her ability as a singer is simply amazing. She brings a unique and dramatic flair to every song she sings. Over the next few months, we shall be releasing a number of these songs, part of an album called Hadley's Castle. Meanwhile, Patricia has been busy creating a super enjoyable collection of classic standards in an exciting 46-song, 3-CD collection.
Music for great entertaining introduces Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia Welch. 3 hours of continuous music. 46 of the all-time classic standards, spanning decades of hit songs. Going to a friend's home for dinner? Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia also makes the perfect hostess gift. This 3-CD compilation is the perfect background music that sets just the right mood for any dinner party.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy.
To purchase this album, just go to patriciawelch.com/CD. That is patriciawelch.com/CD. You won't be disappointed.
It is the 15th century. El Tesoro de Cielo, a Spanish treasure ship, sends a scouting expedition to a strange island. Golden statues surrounding them prove the enormity of their find. Suddenly, hordes of ghoulish creatures with scaly green flesh and skeletal wings descend upon them from the sky.
What do you think of this, Rufio?
These creatures are fragile, Captain. We can take them with our swords.
They seem supernatural. Who knows what powers they possess?
Fallen angels, weakened by their treason.
My God! Are you saying they're Nephilim, the devil's host?
I'm saying, whatever they are, we can take them. Do any of you cowards dare join me?
Up against sharp knife-like nails and hideous fangs, the men's swords rip into slimy green flesh. Though black blood pours copiously from their half-naked bodies, the creatures miraculously persist. Can the crew survive this bloody, cursed battle?
Find out more by Googling The Thrice Born, a new sci-fi supernatural novel by Carlos Lopez Avery and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Carlos Johnny Kindle, The Thrice Born. That's Carlos Johnny Kindle, The Thrice Born.
This is Johnny Bluestar back with songwriters Zave Nathan and Bonnie Blazak. You know, I guess I have always believed in representative democracy as defined by our founding fathers, but I'm not seeing very much of what I would think would represent the American people. For instance, shutting down the government, just because certain people don't like Planned Parenthood, which could affect the entire global economy, as well as many, many individuals who work for the government, including our servicemen. I think of all the things that have affected our political life, and I can't help but think primarily of the media. American voters' voting decisions have been affected by the three things: certain stereotyped opinions they have based on narratives promulgated by the two parties, which are both controlled by lobbyists and corporations, by the distortion of news reinforced by commentary by the major media, and by their own failure, the American people's failure, to choose viable candidates in the primaries, thereby consigning them to voting for candidates chosen effectively by the parties. And in terms of the kind of propaganda, if you like, that has led to this type of voting experience, I think that television is the main culprit. And I would like to play, before we get more into our conversation, a very interesting song called Television by Zave and Bonnie.
All day, you're so tired at night. You wonder why your sex life is gone. Your table dinner is waiting for you. You grab the remote and turn on the news, and then your box is telling you what to buy. Television, it must be the way out of this. Television, another life falling out of grace. You're hypnotized, so why do you sleep at night? Your brain is fried and waits for a fight, alright. You want to watch your favorite sports, but it feeds you commercial spots. They keep the deal, your time for your cash, not bad. Television, there must be a way out of this. Television, another life falling out of grace. Television, there must be a way out of this. Television, another life falling out of grace.
one day you'll catch yourself in the mirror, and you won't dream what you do all this for. Your freedom is gone, but you try to beat them. Unless you cut them off, you're a slave to the system. So you get slim for a chip. You drive everywhere, you run out of gas. They don't care, they got your cash. You're like a robot, buying this or that. Television, television, never steal your way out of this. Television, television, another life falling out of grace. Television, television, it must be a way out of this. Television, television, another life falling out of grace. Out of grace. Out of grace, 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 out of grace.
You know, I grew up loving television. I used to watch Flash Gordon, Buzz Corby and the Rocket Rangers, Space Patrol, Tom Corbett and the Space Academy, and then I grew into other things. Eventually, I actually grew into liking the news and the excitement of that period where I grew up in. But now, I look at television as differently. I see it now as a powerful technological force used against the American people. And I think this song that you wrote, guys, really talks about it. What is your we heard the song, but what is your opinion about what television is doing to the American people?
Well, it's totally got them captured. They are plugged in to a false reality through television. It's the flicker rate of television was, scientifically determined to be at a specific point, which hypnotizes the watcher. And this way, they can send subliminal messages, all kinds of messages through the imagery, through the situations that they use to control our thinking about social issues, how we react with each other and behave with each other. It has contributed to the destruction of the family, family values, all the things that are important. It's amazing. And years and years ago, when I initially began my spiritual, warrior path, one of the many, many people I read books and listened to presentations from was a guy named Stuart Wilde, an Australian guy who was brilliant and powerful, and he passed away a couple of years ago. One of the things he said was, if you want to evolve spiritually, if you want to reconnect with Source and be a sovereign being, first thing you have to do is unplug from the media. Stop watching television. Don't listen to the lies. Don't read the newspaper. It's all, they take a seed of truth and then they build this huge reality around it in order to get people to believe what they want us to believe, and it's working. Yeah. And once, as you discussed, the early years of television were very benign, and, it was Leave It to Beaver and, Flash Gordon, and once they realized, the elite controllers of our world, once they realized what a powerful tool television was and how they could manipulate the human mind, they took it under their control, and man, is it working. This is why people can't wake up.
Yep. Entertainment.
Yeah, we're walking down a kind of a dark path, particularly when the fact is that television basically controls the voting patterns, as I was saying, of people in the United States who have refused to vote in the primaries where you select your candidates, which is a wonderful convention and freedom that we actually have in this country, and nobody's taking advantage of it. Just small numbers of people turn out in the primaries.
Well, let me interject, if I may.
Sure.
How do you control the mass amount of people?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, how you do it is you give people tools and gadgets.
I know that as an example, Bernie Sanders is trying to trigger sort of a massive revolution in people paying attention and demanding their freedoms in certain ways. For myself, I was involved in something called We Lead USA, which was an attempt to actually create a political matrix in social media so that people could interact with each other in a really perfect way. Unfortunately, that particular program is not active anymore, and I think that something like it, created by the right people, that would advocate true democratic values and voting and trying to turn back the flood of misbehavior that's happening in our government would be a wonderful solution.
Well, it would be a solution if we weren't under such deep control. The rabbit hole goes so deep, Johnny. It's just...
I haven't given up hope, Bonnie. I just...
layer of our existence. We don't have... Our vote doesn't matter. It's all manipulated. They put in who they want in. They put them in.
Well, Bonnie, that is true, but you're talking on one example of many programs that are not manipulated. And I say that holds a little bit of a beacon of hope, because there is a very strong alternative media, but it is kind of uncoordinated. And there isn't really a movement that integrates all the different problems that we have that are universally felt that we need to restore the American Constitution. But on that note, I'm going to play a positive song, or at least a positive title by you, called Yes.
Since I met you, honey, things have been so strange. Everything's in order, then you rearrange. You tell me just come over, then you change your mind. Just can't understand why you're so unkind and blind. Every time I think it's all figured out, plus turns into minus, sure turns into doubt. Chances of succeeding look like they will fail. And if I see blue skies, I need to watch for hell. Honey, spelled backwards is why you know. First you say you're staying, then away you go. On and off is killing me, I must confess. But between you and I work my way to YES.
The following is from West Side Warrior, the memoir of Ray Boylan, a Korean War veteran and crime fighter. He was there fighting in the world's coldest battlefield when the Chinese communists invaded.
Desperate squad members ran past our foxhole yelling, "Get the hell out of here, there's too many of them." Again, we saw the Chinese soldiers charging in with opium-induced mindlessness, oblivious of our bullets. Again, we heard the bugles and whistles. Climbing out of our foxhole, Bob dropped 2 hand grenades behind us, and I threw one over my shoulder. Bullets whizzing by our heads, Bob and I became bolts of lightning flashing across the mountainside. Like a hideous film, desperate scenes like this played out on the Tokong Pass for 3 days. Sometimes I played in the scene. Sometimes I could only watch and wonder if it were real, or if I'd be suddenly jolted out of my trance by an RKO usher saying, "Hey, did you kids sneak in here?"
To acquire this book, Google westsidewarrior.boylan.kindle. Boylan is spelled Boylan. That's Westside Warrior, Boylan, Kindle.
Nowadays, if you are a serious business person, just getting assistance from someone with a license and a bit of experience may not be sufficient. In fact, your realtor actually needs to be knowledgeable enough to be one of your top advisors. Whether you're facilitating a giant merger or selling your company, there's a lot at stake besides your finances. There is the future value of your current investment, financial freedom, integrity, and overall reputation. If you need this kind of assistance, Sandra LaFlamme is a real estate expert with the experience, reputation, and knowledge qualified to assist you in all your key transactions. Sandra LaFlamme, real estate services with integrity and conscience. Contact her today at 888-366-8070. That's Sandra LaFlamme at 888-366-8070. I've worked with Russian composer Edgar Ahrens for quite a few years, building an inventory of songs, many of which feature singer-performer Patricia Welch. We will soon be releasing these songs, components of an album and a musical in progress called Hadley's Castle. When Edgar and I first got together, I was amazed by the brilliance of his musical scores created for movies, TVs, and animations. Here is a sample of the work he did on the Russian TV series, available now on Amazon, called The Secret Agent's Memoir, which had 2 seasons. This score is called Escape and was created for the first season. I am very pleased to say that Bridge of Light Productions, a division of New Galaxy Enterprises, is proud to be the contact point for television and film companies seeking information about this amazing composer's work. If you're in the entertainment business and wish to know more, contact me at johnnybluestar@gmail.com. That's johnnybluestar@gmail.com. You know, I'd like to talk about accentuating the positive. If there is a way out of this mess, what is it?
Yes.
Any ideas?
Awareness, love, wake up, open your eyes, be aware of what's up, look at real reality. That's
the beginning, and I think the most important strata of our society that needs to wake up to this are those who have the jobs in government, who are the governors of our states and the senators and the congressmen. Our research and all of the work we've done over the last decade learning about all of this shows that these people are all compromised. You know, they put these people in power because they have a weakness that they can control them through, whether it's alcoholism, pedophilia, sex addiction,
money, traffic, real estate investment.
Criminal activities, and then they can control them, and they're heavily surveilled, and they are pushed to vote and handle things within the government the way they are told by the mega corporations, the power elite. Our country is not run by our Congress and Senate and President, really. I mean, our President also, who's just been doing a terrible job of everything. He's destroying our country. But he's doing it at the behest of the people above him. And he was groomed from a very young age. He's a communist, and he's a Muslim, and he's our president. It's ridiculous. How did we get here? So, in my mind, it is the people inside the system who must wake up and make a choice. Do I give up my $175,000 a year that even when I retire, I'll still receive that? I'm above the law. I don't have to do anything that the little people have to do. And I work for the big guys at the top, and that's okay with me, even though you're destroying our world for your children and your grandchildren. It's not just the little people. You think it's not going to affect you. It is. But until these people have the courage and the determination to do what's right and to serve the people, which is the oath they all take when they take office, serve the Constitution and serve the people, what can the little people do? What can you and I do? All we can do is spread the truth, and if we unite, I mean, there are 7 billion of us against a small handful of controllers, we will win.
I know one thing we could do. We can we can dedicate and play this song to those people in power. It's called Believe.
And we mustn't forsake and forget who we are, as our future and past are written in the stars. Every day of our lives we should pray to the sky. We are one, we all love, you and I.
Believe. We each are the stewards of our planet Earth, for all that it is and for all that it's worth. Our mission is clear and it is human's fate to take back the keys to the gate. We're living again through the great fall of Rome, and we really don't know if we'll ever get home. It's a long road ahead, and I know where to start. Stay strong and keep loving our hearts. And we mustn't forsake, forget who we are, as our future and past are written in the stars of our life. We should pray to the sky. We are one, we are love, you and I. When we finally unite and live here in peace, then the greed and the wars and corruption will cease. But we will see much loss, and for that we will grieve. In the end it is love we'll receive. And we mustn't forsake, forget who we are, as our future and past are written in the stars. Every day of our life we should pray to the sky. We are one, we are love, you and I. When we create the magic in the air, you look and feel the crowd around you. And when the wavelength grows stronger between us, don't be afraid to let it go. And we mustn't forsake, forget who we are, as our future and past are written in the stars. Every day of our life we should pray to the sky. We are one, we are love, you and I. And we mustn't forsake and forget who we are, as our future and past are written in the stars. Every day of our life we should pray to the sky. We are one, we are love, you and I.
We're coming shortly to the end of our show, and I know a lot of our show has been with your music, Zave and Bonnie, and it was quite an honor to visit with you and to hear it. I hope that perhaps you consider to come back again and have a longer chat time.
Oh, we'd love to.
Yeah. There's so much to talk about, and every topic is a 2 hour by itself. The Constitution is 2 hours. The Second Amendment is 2 hours. Education is 2 hours. Vaccination is 2 hours. Freedom, military. I mean, it's enormous. So we'd love to come back.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to point out that your music is, you can find it at SoundCloud under Zave Music. And I think that people, if they want to hear some of these songs and some other songs they haven't heard, can go there whenever they want. Right now, we're going to play another song of yours, a little short piece of it, called You're My Girl.
Girl on a date, go for the bait, just couldn't wait. You got it. Loving your smile, digging your laugh, taking your path. You got it. Touching your skin, stealing a kiss, falling to bliss. Gonna tell you why I should be with you, walking hand in hand on the avenue. And if I can't slow down, it's because it's true. You're my girl, 'cause you're my girl. When I sleep at night, you are in my dreams, 'cause you're the cutest thing that I've ever seen. And I can promise you, you'll be on the scene as my girl, 'cause you're my girl.
New Galaxy Enterprises is a media company specializing in wide-ranging content like novels, nonfiction books, screenplays, commercial advertising, web content, etc. One of our most esteemed providers is illustrator Robert W. Zalo. I work on all my most important projects like book covers, logos, web design elements with Robert. As an illustrator, he worked on the Ignatz-nominated comic book, The Expert's Guide to Killing Things That Go Bump in the Night. His skills encompass advertising, magazine illustrations, gaming, comic books, TV production, and scenic painting. His clients include Comcast, Adelphia, Haven Talent, ForceWorks, High Octane Theater, Star Creative Advertising. If you wish to contact Robert, go to JohnnyBlueStar.com and let me know. That's JohnnyBlueStar.com. For artist, illustrator Robert Zalo, an essential component of all the work we do. Maybe he can help you too.
Boots in Manhattan is a coming-of-age novel by Ray Boylan and Johnny Bluestar. It is about a young Tom Boots Raymond who grows up in New York in the 1940s who was a member of a street gang.
My friends and I were about to start our own game of stickball when Rabbit Lacey, the head of the Rattlers, came up to us and tried to move in on our game. We were called Dwarves, the youngest members of the stupid gang.
Hey, Kevin, I need you to get some gloves and some stuff I left at my place.
No, this is our game.
Hey, are you my good little dwarf or what?
You've been calling me a dwarf since I was 6. We're not your personal slaves, pal.
Hey, what is this? A dwarf rebellion? All right, big guy. We ditched the dwarf thing. We make you guys regular rattlers.
No, it's too late.
He looked at Jay and me. We looked away. Rabbit was now angry, and he pushed Kevin hard with the palms of his hand. Kevin tried to ram him in the stomach, but he stepped aside, throwing Kevin into the curb where he fell to the ground, bleeding profusely at the knee. Still, he managed to get up.
My street.
Kevin shouted at Rabbit, pointing at him with an angry index finger.
Find out more by Googling Boots in Manhattan, a 1940s coming-of-age novel, part 1 of the novel series The Foot Soldier by Ray Boylan and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Boots in Manhattan, Ray Johnny Kindle. That's Boots in Manhattan, Ray Johnny Kindle.
Coming up next week, we present a show called The Evolution of a Performer, featuring Patricia Welch, a performer I've worked with for many years along with Edgar Ahrens, a Russian composer. Among her many credits, Patricia toured with Robert Goulet and was featured in Wayne Newton's TV program. I've experienced firsthand the power of her performance and her tremendous versatility as a singer. I'd like to tell you a story, since this really is connected with Threshold, which is a spiritual program, actually, talking about our relationship to other levels of awareness. And part of that scenario is the phenomena of synchronicity, when things happen that really are so amazing that you can't really grasp them completely. That kind of shows the power of a higher hand in all the things that we do. And one of those was how I met Patricia Welch. Because the way I got involved with Edgar Ahrens, a Russian composer, was that he had solicited my help in working in film, because I write screenplays, but I'm not a film producer. And he thought I was, and he does, generally speaking, scoring. But when I heard his music, I thought it was so phenomenal. Oh my gosh. I contacted him. I asked him if he'd like to write songs with me. He said, yes, I'd like to write songs. My problem is I can't speak English, that well, and I don't do lyrics. But there is somebody who wants to work with me, and that's someone named Patricia Welch. And I said, where does she live? He says, she's an American. She lives in Quinta. Quinta, I said. Wow. Really? Are you sure that's the name of it? Yeah. And I looked her up, and I found out she lived in La Quinta, 30 miles away from us. So our song, Christmas in Your Eyes, the first song that's on YouTube, and there are more coming, was created in a studio about 15 miles away from my house. And that's how I met Patricia. And we've been friends since, along with Edgar, and we've worked together for quite a number of years. Well, anyway, I want to thank Rod Tyler, who helps me on and off the air. He's helped promote some of these programs, and he participates sometimes as a guest host. I want to thank the owners of Vegas All Net Radio, who are making radio come alive again. Threshold salutes you for the opportunity to be on your station. Particular thanks to John Stiles, Ryan, and Irma for their help, and to our board op, Mike Fox, who always comes through for us. And finally, an homage to the great Hassan Khan, who has helped me with the websites, YouTube promotions, commercials, and many other elements supporting the show. So now I would like to leave right now with another great song that we've heard a piece of before, but a perfect way for leaving, a song called Change by Zave Nathan and Bonnie Blazak.
That in the midst of death, life persists. In the midst of untruth, truth persists. In the midst of darkness, light persists.
Change our
genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope, change, and build a better life for their children. We'll make change. Peace for all men and women, peace in all time.
Views and opinions expressed on this program were those of the hosts and guests and did not necessarily reflect those of Vegas All Net Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company.
You drive a car, you own a home, and you need insurance on both. So why not see if you can save some money in the process? I'm Cheston Williams of the J. Cheston Williams Agency. When you insure both your home and your auto with American Family Insurance, you may qualify for a substantial money-saving discount. Interested? Call me, Cheston Williams, at the J. Cheston Williams Agency today at 702-854-4768 or stop by 6348 South Rainbow Suite 100 today.
American Family Insurance, Mutual and Standard of Ohio and Wisconsin Insurance Companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
American Family Insurance, 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 insurance.